Your password is a combination of one or more phrases, acts, looks, or anything that a woman does or says that bypasses your common sense and RP conditioning, rendering you completely blind to her red flags, vulnerable to her vajayjay, and causes you to make bad, irrational decisions that benefit her while damaging you. Everybody has weaknesses, guys. Me, you, everyone watching and listening, we all have weaknesses. We all have an Achilles heel or two, and most of us have more than that. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that not all weaknesses are created equal, right? Like most weaknesses that any given person has are minor and relatively inconsequential. It may inconvenience them for a short period of time or maybe impede their progress, but by and large, minor weaknesses don't completely derail you. At least they don't most of the time. Now, of course, on the opposite side of that, we have major weaknesses. These are the kinds of things that can turn our lives upside down, things that can destroy us mentally, physically, and so forth. Now, as we get older and a little bit more experienced, minor weaknesses can become major weaknesses and vice versa. We live and learn, we adjust, and we evolve, and we learn to mitigate our weaknesses. Now, there are two things, and I've said this before, there are two things that make really smart men really dumb: sports and beautiful women. And because this isn't a sports talk podcast, we're going to focus on women. And to be fair, guys, I want to make this clear. Women are not a weakness, okay? It is biologically normal for men to want to smash as many women as humanly possible before we kick the bucket. It's encoded in our DNA. I saw a Facebook post a while back that said something like, if men could completely eliminate our need for sex, we would be free men. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because I believe that if a man can control himself and not make bad decisions because of his thirst for women, he is a free man. Men, we make terrible decisions based on our desire to sleep with women, right? But that's beside the point. My point is that we can wish for not wanting sex all we want to. It ain't happening. Our desire for sex is programmed into us. It is biologically and evolutionarily necessary. A man's desire to have sex with women is critical for the survival of the human species, and that ain't going away ever. Okay? Like, don't wish you can just not want sex. Not going to happen. Rather, strive to work on yourself to build the discipline to make better decisions in the face of your sexual desires. But going back to what I just said, the reason why women have been labeled as a weakness by so many men isn't because of their desire to pursue women. It's because of the risks that come with them. As recently as, 50, maybe 60 or 70 years ago, women weren't seen as a weakness for men because women were well-behaved. They knew their place. They elevated the lives of the men they belonged to, and they raised strong, well-adjusted children. If a man had, 5 or 6 kids back in 1959, he would be considered to be blessed and fortunate, right? Now, here in 2022, a man with half that amount of kids, a man with 3 kids, is far from being considered fortunate or blessed. If he's got that many children, there's a better than average possibility that there is more than one mother, which means child support. We all know how detrimental child support is to a man's finances, his sanity, his mental well-being, and sometimes even his freedom. Even if all of his children, here in 2022, even if all that guy's children were with the same woman and she were his wife, we're counting down the days until she serves him divorce papers, which begins the process of transferring his resources directly to her. Now, this is known in these parts as divorce EPAR, spelled backwards. The point, gentlemen, is that few women today, in this day and age, are investable commodities. Back in the day, you could pick out a woman, and it was far more likely than not that she was going to be a submissive, dutiful wife who bore your children, took care of your home, took care of you, and they were generally happy to do it. Obviously, that's not the case today, as most women in this country make bad wives, they make terrible girlfriends, and even worse, mothers. But here's the thing. Most men are aware of this, even men who are unaware of the true nature of modern women. The proof is all around us every day. Guys, just watch movies, television commercials, TV, go to Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, or any kind of media, and it's easy to see that the bitches really ain't shit. Even then, men who know these things, men who understand these immutable truths, continue to make the same mistakes with the wrong women. Even guys in this community are getting tripped up by the same kinds of females. Their last 5 girlfriends have all cheated on him, and they all think the same thing. Why the hell do I keep falling for these women? I know what I'm supposed to look out for. I know how to disqualify certain women for long-term relationships. I know I'm not supposed to commit to women I smashed on the first date. I know I'm not supposed to commit to single mothers. I know I'm not supposed to commit to girls with tattoos. So why do I keep getting in relationships with women who cheat on me with their exes or Kevin the douchebag in the sales department? If hindsight is 20/20, why can I never see where I go wrong with these women? Well, the answer is simple, guys. The reason you can't seem to find that point in your relationship where you lost frame and all common sense and abandon your RP conditioning is these girls are using your password against you. So now you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, okay, Donovan, what exactly is my password? Listen very, very closely. Your password is a combination of one or more phrases, acts, looks, or anything that a woman does or says that bypasses your common sense and RP conditioning, rendering you completely blind to her red flags, vulnerable to her vajayjay, and causes you to make bad, irrational decisions that benefit her while damaging you. Let me repeat that. Your password is a phrase, an act, a look, or anything a woman does or says that bypasses your common sense and RP conditioning, rendering you completely blind to her red flags, behaviors, and or characteristics that causes you to make bad decisions that benefit her at your expense. Now, the more, I guess, game and experience a man has, the fewer action passwords he has. So for example, most guys just entering the dating market, young guys with no experience, their password is just sex, right? If she smashes him, he's ready to commit. He's ready to go all in. Now, the reason for that is because of his lack of options and lack of sex. Some guys' passwords are just a Bobby Joe, right? Because they barely get those. She smokes a sausage even one time and he's ready to pay her phone bill and buy her kid a new pair of Jordans for Christmas. Now, for some guys, a sizable hindquarters is his password. For others, it's large breasts. One of my passwords used to be blonde with tiggle fake biddies, which is why I kept making strippers my girlfriends, and all of those relationships ended very, very messily. We all have very different physical passwords, and with enough experience, we learn to divorce feelings from what we see. We say to ourselves, okay, this chick is a solid 9, she's got great boobs and a smoking butt, and hair so blonde it makes me blind, but the last 5 girls who look like this all screwed me over. So I'm gonna smash other girls on the side to keep myself from catching feelings, have fun with this one for as long as I can, then move to the next girl. That is a man with experience and eventually game. That's a man who has found the RP community. But, like I always say, girls have the internet too, guys. They also know about this community and what it teaches men. Girls are starting to figure out that it takes more than just regular sex to get and keep a man of value. They're starting to realize that it takes more than just opening their legs to get men who are worth a damn to commit. They're beginning to understand that just being hot is not going to cut it anymore when it comes to locking down the top guys out there. So instead of doing the right thing, which would be to stop sleeping around, learn to cook and clean, adopting a kind, pleasant, agreeable disposition, and act like actual women, they took the easy way out and started using certain phrases and behaviors that disarm our RP conditioning so that they can continue to have carte blanche to do and say whatever they want to do and say and still get commitment from high-value men. And guys, this shouldn't surprise anybody. Today's women never do what's right, and they never do what's hard. They're always looking for a shortcut, right? They're always looking for that cheat code. When they figured out men didn't commit after smashing them for a couple weeks, they asked themselves, what can I do or say that will get me that commitment without having to really change anything? How can I get these men to chase my commitment without having to learn anything new or, I don't know, make myself a better woman? And that's how these cheat codes came into existence. After all my physical passwords were disabled, after getting screwed over by enough hot girls to understand that their hotness was what was bypassing my RP conditioning, I wasn't as enamored with blonde-haired bimbos anymore. Gentlemen, women these days know exactly what to say to bypass our common sense, our rationality, and our ability to compartmentalize certain things, which means we think with our emotions rather than our reason. And at that point, they got us right where they want us. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 6 most ubiquitous passwords that women use today to completely disarm even the most hardcore RP guys. Before I get into it, do your boy a solid, push me up in the algorithm by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the video. If you could take just a few seconds to help me out, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want to be notified when I go live, guys, be sure to download the SharpStream app and enable push notifications. Don't worry, I'm not going to blow you up. It's just that YouTube notifications, they've been a little bit weird lately, and I don't think any of my subscribers are getting notified when I go live. So to make sure you stay in the know, be sure to get your hands on my app. It is available for Android or iOS. Okay, the first password, I feel safe with you. This one actually used to be my password. Her name was Tatiana. She may have been Russian, I can't remember, but her name was Tatiana. I actually talked about her yesterday. Beautiful girl, gorgeous girl. Long blonde hair, dude, gorgeous sky blue eyes. Now, she did have small boobs, which was kind of a drawback, but she had an unbelievable ass, which more than made up for her small bra size. Anyway, Tatiana and I were walking down Flamingo Road, and I'll never forget this. And we go to cross the street, and I reached over and I pulled her back to the sidewalk because there was a motorcycle speeding along the side of the road. Now, Tatiana was maybe, I don't know, 105, maybe 106 after she ate a shrimp salad, which was her favorite food in the world. So I was able to just kind of yank her back to me. She looked me in the eye and said, "Donovan, I feel so sick," in her thick Ukrainian accent. And I was like, no! It was like when Achilles caught that arrow in his Achilles heel. I knew she had disarmed me, guys. I knew that she had just bypassed all of my Red Pill programming, but there was nothing I could do about it. You guys ever seen that movie, Awake? It was like Hayden Christensen's character in the movie Awake when he wakes up mid-surgery because the anesthesia has worn off, but he couldn't move or talk, but he could still feel everything. He knew he was vulnerable, but there was nothing he could do about it. Fast forward. Turns out, Tatiana had a boyfriend the entire time I was dating her. And when I found out about it, guys, I was sick. Oh my God, dude. It took me a good long while to completely get over her. Like I said yesterday, man, that heartbreak was almost as bad as my heartbreak with Amy. And if you're a patron, you're going to hear about that story on Friday at 5 p.m. when I release episode 4, The Worst Heartbreak of My Life. Anyway, Tatiana had scores of red flags. But when she told me she felt safe with me, it completely blinded me to all of those things. And because of that, she was able to play me like a fiddle. I was the side dude who thought he was the main dude. I'm here to tell you guys, that is a rude awakening. And guys, it took me such a long time to get over her because I really loved her. Like, I really loved her. I thought she was different in a lot of ways, but looking back, she was really no different from any other Vegas slut who slept around, right? Okay, so she had an accent. She had these beautiful eyes I'd never seen before. And, you know, she was from Eastern Europe, but she was just like the typical American girl who sleeps around and plays games and lies. This makes us feel like a man, right? When a woman tells us that that they feel safe with us, we start to think, well, I'm the only man she feels safe with. A man's instinct is to protect a woman. When a beautiful woman physically trusts you and verbalizes it much, it has a profound effect on you. She feels safe with me, you think to yourself, right? There's a lot of pride there, and women are very good at tapping into a man's instincts, right, to protect and provide. Now we exploit their instincts through game, right? Like women like boldness, so we become bold. Women like strength, so we lift weights. Men who can defend themselves are attracted to women, so we learn to fight. Women are attracted to talent, so we cultivate talent. We tap into their biology too. The difference is that when we do it, it's manipulation and exploitation, but when women do it, it's okay. The reason their gambits are more effective than ours is because more men are trying to impress women than women trying to impress men. Guys, women get sausage, commitment, strength, boldness thrown at them all the time. Like, it's a lot of supply, so it's worth it. It's the law of supply and demand. They get so much of it that it's not really worth as much. Anyway, they don't have to say, I feel safe with you. They can show it. For example, getting behind you when there's a loud noise, or grabbing your arm if there's a skirmish or a fight. When a woman says or shows that she feels safe with you, she might actually really feel safe with you. But be cognizant of your reaction when she does this, and do not let her see that it has affected you. If she says, I feel safe with you, just nonchalantly say, cool, and don't look at her. Don't give her the impression that that has affected you. Number 2, you have the biggest sausage I've ever had in me, or you're the best sex I've ever had. This is another male instinct, right? To be a woman's best lover, to have the biggest sausage. Now, why is this important to us? Well, it's kind of like a secondary virginity, right? Well, she smashed 259 guys, but I have the biggest sausage, so no one's penetrated her that deep, so she's never felt that kind of sex before, right? That's kind of what we think. We also want to be her best lover, but that's not possible, guys. As much sausage as women smoke, there is always someone bigger and better than you. Guys, listen, I am 874% certain that I am not the biggest sausage Devin has ever had in her. I'm 914% certain that the best sex she has ever had is not with me. Now, she hasn't told me this, but I know, and I could not give less of a shit. I don't sweat that listen, guys, I don't sweat what I can't control. Stop caring about her needs in bed. This is why I teach this stuff. This is why I preach about not caring about a woman's needs in bed, because if you don't, this password never works on you. If she tells you, well, you have the biggest sausage ever, it doesn't affect you. The minute I really, really stopped caring about what she wants in bed is the minute this password fell on deaf ears with me. And guys, listen, man, I've had plenty of girls tell me I was the biggest or the best. I just ignore them. Maybe they were telling the truth, probably not. Either way, I didn't care. I did not care when they told me. I just ignore them, I flush the condom, take a shower, and bounce like a bad check. Number 3, the third password. You're the first guy I've ever done XYZ with, or you're the only guy I've ever done ABC with. This kind of ties into number 2. Law number 28 of the 49 Laws of Charlotte says you will never be her first, her only, her biggest, or her best. And I'll tell you a quick story. Back in May of 2015, I had a bunch of people over to watch the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And there were a bunch of people there. People brought their friends. Well, there was this girl who was there, attractive girl. Her name was Jennifer. Smashed her 2 weeks later. We've been smashing for maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. She said, well, I've never had a guy been so rough with me. It's the first time I've ever tried it, and I love it. I didn't believe her. Of course not. Girls will tell you whatever they have to pump up your ego. You're the first guy I've ever had unprotected sex with. You're the only guy I've had unprotected sex with, even though she's got 2 kids. You're the first guy I've ever done backdoor sex with after telling you about the he had in college. You're the first time I've ever swallowed when she joked about protein shakes back in her college days. This is the first time I've ever been tied up. Said her last boyfriend may as well have been Christian Grey. This is the first time I've ever worn heels while having sex. But she forgot to tell you that her ex-boyfriend was some douchebag named Donovan who never met a pair of heels he didn't like. Now, it's not just sex that women do this. They do this on an emotional level, too. You're the first guy I have fallen so hard and so fast for. You're the first guy, you're the only guy I've introduced to my parents. You're the first or only guy I've introduced to my friends. You're the first and only guy I've introduced to my kids. You're the first guy, only guy I've ever cooked for. The list goes on and on. If a woman ever calls you her first or her only, guys, it is 478% BS. She has told her last 14 boyfriends the exact same thing. You're not going to fall for it. Number 4, I want to have kids with you. Whew, man, oh man, this was another one of mine. This taps into a man's instinct to spread his seed, to pass on his genes and his legacy. And women know this, guys. She doesn't want your kids. She simply wants your commitment. And if kids are a means to an end, then fine. But she doesn't want kids just to be having kids, right? Tatiana, I've told you guys about her before. I'll never forget this. She told me, Donovan, I want a small copy of you. That's what she told me. We talked about it all the time. She used to send me pictures of mixed kids. We used to come up with names for our kids. We talked about where he or she would go to school. I mean, it was incredible. She used that just to keep her hooks. I mean, guys, guess what? It worked. Women know that telling men that they want to have your child, it does something to us. And remember, I've never wanted to have kids, ever. But when Tatiana told me that she wanted to give me my first child, I was all in. right? When they voice this, when women tell you this, it's like they're choosing you for real. Women can only give birth to so many children, and the fact that out of every man on the face of the earth, she chose you to procreate with. Guys, that has a powerful effect on a man, and he can't help himself. Women tap into this and exploit it to keep you around and make you think that she wants to have your children for no other reason but that she wants your DNA and your DNA only to have a baby with. Guys, that's not even close. Number 5. I've never felt this way about anyone before. Now, this is a go-to favorite for most girls. Dudes know this and they still fall for it. We've all heard it, we all know it's BS, but we still fall for it. You know she's been engaged twice. You know she's had at least 2 Noit-Robas spelled backwards. You know she's had 6 boyfriends in the last 6 months. She told you it took her forever to get over her ex, but you still believe that the way she feels about you is unlike anything she's ever felt for anyone? If you believe this, this is on you, dude. Even dudes who are white knights and just BP to the core knows that this is BS. If she says this to you, guys, just ignore it. Number 6, I think I'm falling in love with you. Now, this one is the Hail Mary of all passwords. Women use this when all else fails. She's tried all the other passwords, so she's trying this one. They do it when they sense that you might be about to leave or that you don't like them as much as she likes you. The sense that you're not going to commit. They tell you that they think they're falling in love with you out of desperation. Guys, they do this on The Bachelor. After one girl has a bad date or is involved with some sort of drama, what does she do? She gets The Bachelor by himself. I think I'm falling in love with you. Bitch, you've known me for a half an hour. How the hell are you falling in love with me? Women either love or they don't. They don't just fall in love, they love. I think I'm falling in love with you guys. That statement is a litmus test to see if they can manipulate you. And if you're, oh my God, I love you too, she's got you. This is another one you need to flat out ignore. Just ignore it. Now, there are many more passwords that women use to sort of stupefy the male mind. But what they all have in common is that they are all designed to make you feel special or unique. All of these passwords are designed to make you think that she can't get what she gets from you from anyone else. She won't cheat on me. She feels safe with me. I protect her. She won't mess around on me. I've got the biggest sausage she's ever had, and I smash her the best. She wants to have my kid, so why would she step out on me? Here's what most men don't consider when women tell them these things, and I want you to pay attention. Okay, so she said she feels safe with you. Even if that were true, do you think you're the only man she feels safe with? Did it ever occur to you that even though she feels safe with you, she might feel safer with other men in her past? Or that she feels safer with other men now? So you're the first guy she's ever had anal sex with, huh? Then why did she suggest it? Why did it seem like she had done this before? Oh, I'm sorry. You thought it was your golden that made her want to take you in her. That's right. You're special. Your girl wants to have kids with you, huh? Did she explain her first 2 Noit-Robas to you? Do you think you're the only guy she's wanted to have kids with? You think you'll be the last? The point is, gentlemen, is that you are not special. You're not unique. Guys, I'm here to tell you, she's swallowed the loads of other men. You're not the first guy she fucked on the Ferris wheel. You're not the only man she's told she wants to have kids with. She's had bigger in her, and she's definitely been better. A lot better. Gentlemen, do not make the egregious mistake of allowing a woman to make you feel unique or special. Do not allow a woman to make you feel like you are one in a million. No, you are one of a million. You're a dime a dozen. Yeah, but I'm RP aware and I live the RP life. Oh, so that means she's telling you the truth, right? Because you're Captain fucking Red Pill Alpha, women just tell you the truth all the time, right? Even if she were telling the truth in any of these incidents, don't you think for 1 second that you're the only one on her radar. Women always, and I mean always, have a backup plan in case you don't take the bait. It's just like MLD says. Imagine that when your girl or girl you're dating is not with you, that she's just gobbling sausages. It's the same concept. And remember, guys, remember, if one password doesn't work, women will keep trying until they find it. I feel safe with you, Donovan. Now, my response would be, well, of course you do. I'm bigger than you. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let me try this one. I want to have your children, Donovan. My response would be like, yeah, get in line. Okay, that didn't work. You have the biggest sausage ever, Donovan. My response, if I had a nickel every time a woman told me I was the biggest or the best she's ever had, I'd be rich. Man, okay, that didn't work, and so on and so forth. If a woman tries to make you feel unique or special, or to give you the impression that what they get from you can't be gotten anywhere else, she is manipulating you, gentlemen. Of course, your girl has had bigger sausages in her. She went to the University of Miami and hung out in the athletic dorms. Of course she wants to have kids with you. Her last 10 boyfriends know she's batshit crazy and smashed her with 8 condoms on. You are not special. I had a client a while back tell me that a woman that he was seeing, she told him that she was a huge germaphobe. She doesn't like touching anybody or anything. Everything is nasty and disgusting. But for some reason, she told him, I just can't keep my hands off you. Well, apparently she couldn't keep her hands off the guy she walked up to her hotel room with either, when a private investigator caught it all on camera. Understand this, gentlemen. Women are only as genuine as their mission dictates. If something she does or says makes you feel special or unique, guys, I'm here to tell you, tamp down those feelings, okay? You need to shrug off what she did or said and understand that she is doing all of this to try to lull you into a false sense of security so that she can drain you of your resources, your time, and your sanity while she smashes Kevin in the sales department in his office every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, and Dave, the unemployed garage band guitar player who may or may not be addicted to nose candy, every Saturday afternoon when you think she's having her weekly tea and talk outing with her bestie. Thanks for watching.